Have you ever felt frustrated by hitting your ClickUp automation limit and wished there was a way to get more out of your automations without shelling out some extra cash? Well, you're in luck. Today we're diving into a game-changing feature that could save you both time and money. We're talking webhooks. So stick around to find out how you can supercharge your ClickUp workflows and keep your automation limits in check. Hi, if you're new here and don't know me yet, I'm Yvonne Heimann, aka Evie from AskEvie.com, and I help digital entrepreneurs and service providers turn their passion into profit by automating their business so you can dominate your industry. Now I got called out. As you can see right here, my Webhooks 101 apparently was a total terrible video. I'll give him that. Yes, I didn't dive deep into the specifics. That's exactly what we are going to do today because this is Webhooks 102. Let's dive deep into the specifics and all the things you can do, because even though he didn't ask nicely and that comment was definitely not efficient to get any answers, I'll still give you the answers because you deserve better. Before we dive into webhooks and how they can benefit your ClickUp setup, let's first cover what a webhook actually is, and let's revisit that. So webhooks is a way for apps to communicate. So if you want ClickUp to talk to Google Drive or Facebook, yeah, the API is not as open as we would like, but it's there. Webhooks is pretty much like a telephone line straight to the other tool to be able to do things. Hey, Google Drive, I want you to generate a folder and do this and that. That's what webhooks can do. So pretty much when a predefined event happens in one application, that can trigger this webhook that says, hey, you need to do something. And that webhook then sends data over to wherever you tell it to send it to. And the receiving server, app, service provider, whatever, takes the data and does whatever you tell it to do with it. Now there is limitations. There's limitations by something that's called the API. API is what tools allow us to communicate with them. So sometimes you can create a task, but you might not be able to create a subtask, and you can generate a folder, but you cannot generate a new Gmail account, things like that. So we are limited by what the API allows us to do. Now with webhooks, all of this happens in real time, meaning if I trigger something and I do what that initial task is to get all of this going, it happens right away. That's what webhooks are. Now that we've talked about general what webhooks are, let's focus on specifically webhooks within ClickUp. ClickUp webhooks let you automate your interaction between ClickUp and other tools and services. Yeah, and all of this, again, is happening in real time. You might have seen me on one of the recent ClickUp webinars where I shared 3 of my most favorite make.com automations. You can snatch everything down there. One of those is, as you can see right here, a webhook that we use in ClickUp. When triggered, generates my folder for the videos that I'm recording right now here with you. So I don't need to name the folder. I don't need to spend time generating the subfolders and then linking it in ClickUp and all the things. No, a webhook does that for me every single time. Meaning magic is happening on Google Drive, and all I did was a little change within ClickUp. Now, why use webhooks within ClickUp? First off, yes, there is some native integration between tools, but something like this we cannot build natively within ClickUp. Also, automations can run out. You have a limit on automations. Webhooks are also cost efficient. You can't always use webhooks. So for example, in this automation, I continuously have to call Google Drive to check, is there a new video? Is there a new video? Is there a new video? Which is why you see the clock right here, because if I do that constantly, I will be using up my data on make.com, and I don't want to do this. So rather than having to go out and, is there something new? Is there something new? Is there something new? It's like your mom calling, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Let's not do that. Webhooks are really cost efficient there because they are getting triggered by something you do. And webhooks really give you that flexibility and the ability to customize what you want to get done, because you can connect so many other tools through a webhook. So let's stick with one of my favorite automations so I can explain to you specifically how to trigger webhooks, how to build this scenario out, and how to set all of this up. And stay tuned. I will also show you how you can make blueprints, which is pretty much a template, and apply them to your Make account so you don't have to rebuild all of this. When we are in here, this video stage is actually our trigger. Meaning when that drop-down field changes, we do something. So if you look right in here, we have when custom field changes from anything to record, we are calling a webhook. Now, here's the first thing. Calling a webhook? Great, that's a URL. Where the hell did you get that from? Let me show you. Going into make.com and into scenarios, we are creating a new scenario. And there it already is. If it's not right on top as it is with me, you can also just search for your webhook. And we want to go with the custom webhook. That's it. Now, right here, you're running into the next question. Great, Evie, what the hell are you talking about? It says choose a hook. I already have a couple hooks set up for all kinds of different automations. In this case, simply add a new one and say new ClickUp hook. I like to name them specifically for the process that we are automating, and that's it. You literally just save and you copy the address to your clipboard. That's how simple it is to get the URL that needs to go right here into call your webhook. What that means is the automation right here in ClickUp now is set. When you set the video stage to record, call the webhook. Being in Make, cool. The moment I do something, it is going to get information, but it's not, what is it going to do with it? So first, let's save it anyway for a second. What are we doing with this? And that's where things can get a little bit dicey. As you see right here, one of the things we always do is we pull information from ClickUp the first thing that happens. So to show you the data that's coming in without creating a whole bunch of mess, when information comes in, this is what this looks like. Look at that. There's a whole bunch of information, all kinds of stuff. Now, because we used the webhook, this thing knows what the task ID is. That's how we can identify anything and everything within ClickUp. So rather than assuming everything came in, because sometimes ones and zeros can go crazy, I always like to get task. Meaning, again, just like we added a webhook, you do the at ClickUp, and then we do get a task, and that's the module you're gonna add here. Now going back, you can see right here, the payload ID is the task ID. That's how we can identify literally everything in ClickUp. And with that, we are getting that specific task and all of the information. So if you look right here, we pulled all of the information from that specific task. And then we say, generate a Google Drive folder. That is my main Drive folder. Now look at the magic that is happening in here. We, first of all, connected to Google Drive in your Make. You can do all of that. We then, yes, it's a shared drive. We have domain admin access. Which shared drive is it? And then I choose the specific folder location, which is the path to my 2024 YouTube video. You can literally by plus find all of the folders, and it's what I do in this is I have Google Drive open so that I know exactly the folders I need to get into. And to the last folder where I want this episode folder to be created, and then I pull the information from ClickUp. As you can see right here, I can pull information and map certain information from anything that was there beforehand. So looking at this, we pulled all of the task information. So I want the episode number to be in there with a dash in between, the task name, because that's the video name, and then with the task ID. So now the folder is generated. It is named how I want it to be named, and it's done. Not only that, you also have flow control, and you have repeaters and routers and all kinds of things in here. We use this router to now do multiple things all at once within this folder. So with that, we have the main episode folder generated, and then we are creating a final folder within that. As you can see right here, we pulled the folder ID from that generated folder that's in there and name it based on what we are building. So it's the final, and then the task ID. I always like to put the task ID everywhere, just in case some folders get moved and we don't know anymore where it goes to. Then the raw folder is built the same way, as well as the graphics folder. And not only that, because ClickUp is our single source of truth, we update ClickUp, as you can see right here, with the link to the main folder we generated. So now our folders are generated in Google Drive, and they are linked back in ClickUp. Now all of this happens automatically just by me saying record this video. Now, as I already mentioned, first of all, you get the templates down in the description. Let's talk about how you can use make.com blueprints so that you don't have to rebuild all the things that I just built. So log into your make.com account, go into your scenario dashboard, and create a new scenario. Then go into the more settings and go import blueprint. It will ask you for a JSON file. That's what you are getting through the stuff in the description. And you hit save, and look, there it is. Now, once uploaded, you need to update your information, meaning generate a new webhook URL. You just saw how to do it. Connect your ClickUp, make sure the payload ID is right and all the things. Google Drive folder, make sure it's connected to the right Google Drive account. Make sure you have all of this cleaned up. Make sure these are filled out. So custom field says there is something wonky. So what you might want to do is right click this and run this module only. As you can see, the webhook is the same. What it will do is you then can tell it, hey, this is the task ID, pull the information, and you just get the information for this task so that in here you can make sure all of this is set the right way. And that's how you go through every single of those modules to be able to update your information, all the way to getting the link back into your ClickUp, importing your JSON file, creating your new webhook, connecting it into your ClickUp, test running by right click, you'll get the task module, give it the task ID so it can pull some information, and then double check to make sure you have the right folder, you have the right breadcrumbs for your folder in the Google Drive module, as well as the final folder, the raw folder, and the graphics folder, and then double check your last ClickUp update module to make sure everything works as planned. And you've already seen some of my favorite webhook automations. One of them is the Google Drive folder automation. The other one is generating a task based on a short video uploaded into Google Drive. And I have one more. If you want to snatch those, including the make.com blueprints, grab the link below. Everything is there for you with a little video, with the 3 JSON files, and a little bonus too. Now you know why I use ClickUp webhooks alongside my native ClickUp automations. It's a fantastic way to maximize efficiency and keep costs down. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more ClickUp tips and tricks, making your business more efficient and turning your passion into profit. Drop any questions and comments below. Again, nice questions are more efficient at getting productive answers, and I will nicely call you out on my video rather than making fun of you. I'd love to hear if and how you are using webhooks in your workflows. And if you haven't yet, go check out that video here where I talk about my 5 must-have ClickUp automations that skyrocketed my business. And until next time, happy automating and optimizing.